I am in a cool place today. As soon as we say that everything's ready to go here, we'll start explaining.
People on Facebook a link or something.
No, we can actually just say it out loud and they'll put it in chat. So they can just click
But
on
I
it.
mean, my people on Facebook.
No, you could. Oh, you want a link?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're still getting set up here, y'all. We're still
Yeah,
getting set up.
so if we're in the setup, then I'll...
Yeah. When you're ready, I can tell you what the link is and you can share it out.
Yeah.
DC3 Girl, what's up?
Then you gotta enjoy.
Eon Raptor, Stew Dog, the any key, right? Audio video feeds 5x5. Squishchin, how you doing this morning? Hey, we've got a bonus virtual field trip thing here. Y'all know I'm in New York City because we were down at the Intrepid all day yesterday. Half a day yesterday, talking to people at the Intrepid about the Apollo 50th anniversary. We had some time this morning, and we ended up at another cool place. I'll fill you in on that in just a second. I mean, I told you last night where we were planning on going. Is this my room? This is not my room. I am not in my room. The distinct lack of green screens behind me indicates that this is not, in fact, my room right now. But we will get into that in just a second. As you know, I am on my phone because I am reading Twitch chat. So if you want to say good morning or say where you're from or whatever, you can type in chit chat and I can read it. Well, Sam, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff here. There's a lot of cool stuff at the place that we're at. I wouldn't say that it's messy. I would say that it has a lot of cool stuff for us to check out. There's not a snowball's chance that we'll be able to get through all the cool stuff here at this cool location that I still haven't even told you where I am. Okay, so the link would be myvector.org, like M-Y.
www?
You don't have to put that in, yeah. Vector. Yep, /live. Yeah.
Vector is spelled V-E-C-T-O-R.
Yes. Myvector.org/live. And put HTTP at the front of it. So just go over to the front of the link there. Yeah. And do HTTP with a colon and 2 slashes. // Perfect. And that goes right to our website. And you can say, join us for a quick, we call them virtual field trips. You can call them whatever you want. Hey, Sarian, how you doing? To your left. Oh, there's a Mickey Mouse back in the corner there. It's actually a Mickey Mouse telephone. Huh?
There's a Snoopy.
Oh, there's a Snoopy phone too.
That's even better. They're both
I
cool.
think we're going to run across this because there's two Snoopy telephones down there.
Yeah, there's a rotary and a push button.
There's a rotary and
You
a
gotta
push
have
button.
both.
And the Mickey Mouse phone back there too. I don't even, I mean, I can identify some of this stuff here, but I can't identify all this stuff. This is amazing. You feel like you're in an episode of Storage Wars. No, because there's only cool stuff here. There is only cool stuff here. You have the Star Trek phone? Nice, pagan. Let's see here. Yes, Eon, no spoilers. No spoilers. DC3 Girl, I don't think that the stuff is for sale, unfortunately. No, it's not. Yeah, it's well, we'll get into where we are in a second. We're sending out a link. Talking about you last weekend in High Point at Congregate. Nice, Umbroso. I don't know what Congregate is, but it sounds some sort of con. Sort of deal. Kurosaki, thanks for the 28 months there. Ready for the 50th? That's today. Hey, y'all know the deal. Like, we are out in New York City because it's the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. Actually, today, 50 years ago today is when Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin actually landed on the moon. Yesterday, they went into orbit around the moon. Today is when the lunar module actually touched down. The LEM actually touched down.
I have the magazine in the car.
It's a magazine.
I have the National Geographic in the car.
Yeah? Gosh. Just in the car, right?
Because, you know.
Oh, gosh. All right. You bid 40 Kerbal bucks. Are you all good with your link?
I just put it up.
Send it out?
Yep.
Excellent. All right. So where should we... I mean, when you're ready, we can just stand up and I'll introduce people to where we are.
I was trying to let someone else know and I can't.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I can just run my mouth. Like,
No. It's funny how cell phones sometimes just don't work.
Oh, it's just not cooperating
that's
at all.
my friend in China, so she'll find out.
Really?
She's going to bed. But she'll wake up for that. And my
God.
friend in Brazil would love to know, and I'm like, oh damn,
Yeah.
nothing's working.
You have to, like,
It'll
restart
work the
the phone or
minute
something.
I tried to shut down the program, maybe restarting it a little bit.
Well,
Who
hopefully
knows?
they
Doesn't
follow
matter.
you on Facebook and they can see the link that you posted there.
And you
right?
are going to do a box opening before you leave, so don't let me forget that.
A
We'll
box?
open up a new acquisition.
A box opening?
Yeah.
So, chat, now that we all know that we're ready to go, the signal's working, the audio seems to be okay, I can actually tell you where I am. We are currently at the Museum of Interesting Things in New York City. Look, I can actually put it on the screen too, right? Museum of Interesting Things.
Yeah, it's
It
no
appears
secret.
on the screen. And with me, I've got the curator of the Museum of Interesting Things,
Where?
Denny. Where? Where'd you go? Denny Daniel. Denny, thank you for letting us come here to your location and see all
welcome.
your stuff.
I get to have fun for a living, I like to say.
Yeah, no kidding. So, what is all this stuff?
So it's the Museum of Interesting Things. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
And it's basically a traveling museum. So I'll go to schools and teach. I'll go to libraries. I'll go to events like the one we went to at the Intrepid.
Right? That's where we met, at the Intrepid.
Comic-Con, where I'm a speaker, or Maker Faire, or
Yeah.
TED Talks and stuff like that.
God.
And now I've opened up this space also. Some people do some small private things here.
Right?
But mostly I travel all over the country or the world and show people that their iPods didn't pop out of thin air or their iPhones didn't pop out of thin air.
I'd pop out of thin air. So, you have stuff here.
Yes.
They're interesting things, right? It's
like
in the
to hope.
name. Interesting things. So, how do you start acquiring this stuff? Like, did somebody bring it to you? Did you say, oh, that's cool, I'm going to get that, or pick it up? Like, what?
It's almost every single permutation you can think of, every way you can think of.
Yeah?
So I've been collecting my whole life. The museum started here with my friends' birthday parties they used to throw here because I live in the middle of the village.
Okay. It's just a
So-
convenient, nice
right.
location for...
And my friends had cool friends, people that wrote for Mad Magazine and The Onion
Yeah?
and DJs on BAI. So they were my guinea pigs for like 2 years.
Yeah?
And then I thought, the impetus for every entrepreneur is two things.
Right?
A passion for something, like your passion to do this,
To talk.
right? And bad bosses. I call it my Shawshank Redemption.
Right?
My emancipation. So I tested it out on my elementary school in Queens. And
Yeah?
it went really well, and newspapers gave me front page articles, even though they said they wouldn't show up. And now, over 10 years later, I have my emancipation, my escape from
Your
the
escape.
man.
God, your escape from the man. So did you have stuff? Were you a collector before you started
So I
showing
was a
it off to
collector my
people?
whole life.
Right?
And then, your question was how did it start, but where
Yeah.
did the things come from too? So I've been collecting my whole life, and that's why people threw their parties here, because there was interesting things.
Because there was stuff here, yeah.
And then I had all these stories, so I decided, let's make it into a story thing where I teach kids. But now, every way you can think of. So, of course, the internet today is great.
Yeah.
But, before I was buying in stores. Or, the museum will go on tour, and on the way, I'll stop in every antique shop all the way to Oklahoma, and buy all this stuff and fill the car to the
You take like a box van with you and you fill up the back of
and
it?
just,
Or?
oh God! Actually, it's a station wagon.
It's a station wagon.
It's a Subaru.
The station
which is
wagon makes
amazing.
sense, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they call it an Outback.
Outback.
That's a glorified station.
It's a cool station wagon.
Exactly,
Right?
it's
yeah.
a cooler name
Yeah,
for
a
a
cool
station
name for a station wagon.
My station wagon. And now, every time I do a show, almost every time someone will come up, and say to me, "Oh, I brought this for my grandma," or "This my dad," or "I had this as a kid," and they'll donate items to the museum, which is the coolest thing.
God. So some of the stuff was just your personal, I guess, with your personal collection, you were just collecting things, right?
Right, yeah.
And you would buy things or you'd find things or whatever.
Yeah.
And now that you're sort of, I guess, going around, more well known, people say, hey, I don't need this collecting dust anymore.
Right.
You can have it. Or something like that. People donate
Right,
stuff.
yeah, and I have different themes. So people will go, "Oh, you do photography,"
Right.
And they'll bring me their old cameras. Or somebody else will say, "Well, you do computers,"
Right.
I call it take me to your data.
Take your data.
So someone will donate their old computer, laptop, even
Yeah,
a mouse
yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah?
And then, like I said, as you know, I have that Doomsday Space Race show.
Right.
And my sister actually worked at NASA, so I've got a whole bunch of great stuff for that.
No
And
kidding.
a friend of mine designed parts of the launch pads and the space shuttles, so he got me all
So you're
sorts
sort of like tied into it, and you have contacts who have, like,
Yeah.
here's a bolt that was on the whatever.
I have one of the bolts.
Wait, really?
That held
I was
the engine
kidding.
of the space shuttle.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I have one of the titanium boats or something that held the space shuttle's engine. So if you see the space shuttle's engine floating around,
Yeah.
That's because unfortunately I have.
Because you have the bolt that was
it's not
the
bolted
critical
down
bolt.
anymore. So if you go to the Intrepid,
Yeah?
you'll notice that the engine is floating. No,
No, it's just sort of there.
Because you know they have this spatial.
They do. They have Spatial Enterprise. So let's do like a lightning round right quick. All right, we're sort of
Yes.
we're hanging out in a room. There's stuff in the background. Just do like a once around of the room and point out some stuff.
Okay,
Don't
great.
point out anything or everything. We'd be here all day. But like, just start with this thing and go around.
This thing you as a filmmaker would love. This is a Moviola. So basically it's a movie editing machine or viewing machine. So you'd watch your dailies on this, and then let's say you did 10 takes of the New York scene, so you'd cut out take 3 and take 5. But you'd want to watch the film with this. It was donated by a very famous movie studio, and I asked them if it was ever in production. They said yes.
Yeah.
I asked them what movies would it have edited, and they said all these great movies. I couldn't remember any of them for you, but one of them I thought was interesting. He said, "Well, it may have worked on this movie."
Yeah.
And I said, "What?" And he goes, "Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure," which Tim Burton did. So I'm like, "Oh my God! Well, you know, if this was in production, he may have used this. I don't know. I wasn't there. Tim Burton might remember,
My
but I haven't
God.
met him yet. But yeah, this is one of the machines that worked on a lot of famous movies."
No kidding.
And they nicknamed it Big Bertha.
Big Bertha, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is back before the
And it
days
was a
of-
donation.
It was a donation.
Yeah, they loved the museum. They got my emails every month.
Yeah.
And I was going to be on Science Channel on the show Oddities.
Yeah.
And the guy calls me up and goes, "We're downsizing and we'd like to donate some items." And this was one of them.
God.
And I rolled this down Broadway.
You rolled it down Broadway?
Yeah, because there's no way to put it out in car. So I
Yeah.
rolled it down Broadway, I rolled it down Astor Place, and I rolled it to this spot.
Like down the street, like put it in the elevator.
We
and we're-
stopped cars. Like people in their cars opened their windows. They said, "Oh my God, do you realize what that is?" And I said, "Yeah," and I'm rolling it home
You're
before
rolling
they
it
change the
home.
home mine. So it's one of my favorite items. And then I adorned it with all sorts of fun
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah. So this is back before you had computer editing. This is like when
Yeah.
you cut a clip out or whatever, you cut a
Right.
take out,
And then you would
literally
hang it on
cut
a line,
tape out.
like laundry.
Yeah.
And then you would take it and put it inside bins, like laundry bins.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
why you have clips and bins
Clips
in
and
Final
bins.
Cut Pro.
Because they actually were clips and bins.
Right,
All right, let's go
right.
to another thing. Let's see how many things we can hit really quickly.
Okay,
Just going
so-
around the room.
So going around the room, round robin kind of. Oh, well, let's start with one of the coolest things in the world. If you remember the Brownie?
Okay,
They
no.
made a Brownie 3D camera. The Brownie was this little box camera that was, it democratized photography. The reason why you have cameras on your phones is
Right.
because that one demystified. They made a 3D Brownie. And I'm actually on the board of the New York Stereo Association.
Yeah.
So I got this because it's just fun to have. But it's a 3D Brownie from like the early 1900s, I believe 1905. They only made about, I'd say 5,000 of them. So this is one of the remaining 5,000s.
So this is a 3D camera that's
A 3D camera.
114 years old, or roughly 110,
Yeah, at
115
least
years
over
old.
100 years old, yeah.
100-year-old
Yeah.
3D camera.
Yeah, and the Brownie, the American version, the French had to be fancy schmancy, so this
Oh,
is
wow.
a beautiful French version of
The
it.
wood grain
a little bit
case.
older, where you go, that's the shutter. Done.
Really?
Yeah, how cool is that?
That's the shutter for the camera.
And it opens up like this because it's too cool to be too
Oh.
cool for school.
Okay, that's fancy.
Yeah.
So
told
that's,
you,
that's
they
a
had to be
3D
fancy
version
schmancy.
as well, or
Yeah, that's a 3D camera. So I would take a picture of you going like this. Smile. You moved. You can't move. The shutter.
can't move.
This is going to be the most blurry picture we've ever seen. Okay, and now I close it. I would have to put a back brace on him and strap him
To
'cause
keep
we
him
hold
from
down.
moving.
Yeah, to keep him from moving. And they did do stuff like that.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I've got the 3D collection is out of control. And actually, we're doing Coney Island with a 3D VHS festival.
A 3D VHS.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to that. You live in Brooklyn.
I don't even
So-
know how you do a 3D VHS festival.
It wasn't easy. I got over 150 3D VHS tapes.
Oh wow.
Everything from Creature from the Black Lagoon
Yeah.
to Kiss and the Rolling Stones.
The Rolling Stones.
And the
in
guy
3D.
who filmed the Rolling Stones is coming to introduce his film.
Really.
Yeah, I know him. He's a buddy of mine. Yeah, he did the Steel Wheels tour. So
That's
he,
cool.
He said, "Can I enter my film at Coney Island?" I said, "Yeah, I think I'm going to
I
say yes
guess.
to that." The man hung out with Mick Jagger on stage. Yeah, it's worth it.
So what else do we
So-
have? I mean, we're
So over here, we have like the 20th anniversary of the suffragette election.
right.
The first election women voted in, and this is one of the actual poll books from the 1920 election of the
An
suffragette.
actual poll book. It's not like a
Yeah, this is-
reproduction or
Nope,
whatever.
this is the real deal.
God.
So there is one of the poll books right there
So when people used to vote, this is how you would keep track of...
who voted in that election. Yeah, how crazy is that? And I've got a couple of the poll books
Yeah.
here, and they're underneath Napoleon's Psychic Readers book that was published in the early 1800s in English, but originally she published it in France after he died. So these are all the secrets, her secrets that she helped Napoleon do all his battles and everything, and and all the things. This was the woman he consulted.
Yeah.
Because
Because that was the thing that Napoleon did, right?
Yeah, yeah. We've had a few presidents who did silly stuff like that. So in here, there's also a giant, beautiful Kodak camera. Those are the giant bellows cameras. One of them, I believe, still says Rochester Camera Company, and one says Kodak.
Wow.
So it's even before.
This before it was called Kodak or whatever?
It's like when they didn't slap the name on. Down there is one of. Can you pick that little red thing up over there?
Which red thing? This
right
thing?
there, yeah.
All right, here, I'll put
That
this
is
down.
one of my Holy Grail items.
This is a Holy Grail item?
Yeah, this is a magic lantern from the late 1800s. So
Okay.
this is an Ernst Planck magic lantern from the 1800s.
Wow.
Still has the oil lamp in it because it's basically a projector that used an oil lamp. Because clearly kids should be using oil lamps
Yeah.
in the 1800s.
Well, instead of plugging it into the wall like a projector these days, or I mean,
Yeah.
when's the last time y'all have used a projector, I guess, right? You
This is
lit an
the-
actual lamp?
You lit a lamp, and these go back hundreds of years, so it's before light bulbs.
Yeah.
And if you pull out one of the glass slides down there,
Right here?
red, yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow, I'm like super careful here.
Yeah,
You got
so
it?
that is an original glass slide. So these are what you would know as PowerPoint presentations.
PowerPoint presentations.
Yeah,
It's
but
a
they-
Mark I PowerPoint presentation.
Yes, and it was called Magic Lantern Presentations.
Really?
Edison had catalogs full of them. They had thousands of them.
And instead of clicking the mouse to go to the next slide,
This is your mouse click. You would go like that.
you
Click.
would just push it to click.
Click. You can make the noise if you really need
You
to.
can make the noise. Chkunk. Who'd like to go to the next slide? Chkunk.
Or you could go quickly and do an animation. And this one actually took film. Later when, we had film, but people didn't like to put film. People liked that whole magic lantern
Yeah.
look of this ghosty look on a wall.
On the
And they
wall.
did use them often for like seances. People thought it was ghosts. So they called them magic lanterns because they thought it was magic.
They thought it was magic.
Yeah.
And really it's an oil lamp that's projecting through a lens, through a slide. It's slightly transparent so the light can get through and it puts the image up on the
Yeah,
wall.
we did our first Magic Lantern show. I was telling you that we do a speakeasy once a
Yeah,
month,
yeah.
so now you guys know.
Yeah.
Once a month we do a speakeasy where I show 16 millimeter films and I have antiques out, and every month is a different theme.
Yeah.
So the last one was our space theme, which was great.
Yeah.
But we actually did a Magic Lantern one, and if you pick up one of those boxes,
Like this.
that one would be great.
This one would be great. There
That
you go.
is the Three Little Pigs, the original Disney Magic Lantern box. So these are the slides with the booklet.
With the booklet.
Yeah, so it really was PowerPoint before PowerPoint.
So
I
you
don't know
could
what
like
your
read
glare
the
is doing
story at the
something
same time that you show the...
there. Which I did for an hour and a half. Let me tell you, they had much better eyesight 100 years ago. I had to use, like I was bar mitzvahed, I had to use the pointer
Yeah?
for the Bible in my bar mitzvah in order to read this. I brought it as a joke.
Yeah?
And I realized I could not do the show without a pointer
'Cause it was
because
so
it's so small.
tiny?
And I refused. I wanted to go completely like authentic. So I refused to like put it into Photoshop and blow it up.
blow it
big.
up or something. Yeah,
I said
that's
I'm going to
cheating.
read the original booklet in the dark, with like, the magic lantern with I was totally authentic, and it was wildly interesting.
Is this the like heat stack, the smoke stack
Yeah.
for the lantern?
That's the smoke. Although I love when people do this because
Yeah.
I'm like, here's smoke in your
That
eyes.
would be the smoke from the lantern
Yeah,
in your
not
eye.
a good idea to do that. Definitely. So
Wanna put that
we're
back
gonna
down
put
there?
that one back over there.
Yep, okay, got it.
And then that is a voting machine right to the left of it.
Where was this?
Right
Just
down,
like
perfect.
right
You're
there?
perfect.
Okay.
He's so great. He's so careful.
I want to be careful. Like we're live on the camera. If I
Me,
drop
I'm like,
something, people will know.
Dude, I teach kids. It's all good. So that is a voting machine that tests. It teaches people how to vote. But it's from
Really?
1920 and still has the suffragette election and still has President Harding on the machine.
All right, can I
so
pick it
you
up?
could vote. Yes, you may.
Wow, it's
It's
heavy.
heavy. Yeah, it ain't no good.
So that's an old voting machine.
Right, and it's from 1920, so it still has President Harding on it, which is the suffragette election in America. So who was learning how to vote? Women.
That's
so
awesome.
women were using this to learn how to vote.
God, directions
cool is
for
that?
voting. It says up there.
Yeah.
And it's. I guess this handle is like to clear it or whatever. Like you.
Exactly.
You I remember my parents. I remember seeing these old,
Yeah,
not
me
this
too.
one, but physical little things you would click.
I
And when
love
you
those
voted,
machines.
you would go and you would click one down and go chunk, and that's how you know
Right.
you voted. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they record all the votes and they do this to reset it, like not an Etch-a-Sketch, I guess, because you don't shake
Kind
it.
of.
Yeah, kind of. It's like the
I see
reset.
That works.
No kidding. All right, so we continue our lightning round.
Lightning round over here.
There, yeah.
So that is an original. You ever see the monkey with the organ grinder and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah,
Well, this
yeah.
is an original organ grinder from the 1800s. By the way, I have the tin cup the monkey held in his hand to get pennies. So people in Japan tell me there's still people doing this with trained monkeys.
Really?
So you guys in Japan, let me know if it's still going on.
It's still a
If there's
thing.
any Japanese people or Asian people. And I found Joe from New Jersey. There's the organ grinder and his monkey.
Oh, really?
This is his headshot from 1970s. How cool is that?
How do you find this stuff?
This was so random.
Yeah.
I just, but you know how I found out?
How?
Bugs Bunny.
Wait, what?
I get a lot of knowledge and history from Bugs Bunny.
Yeah?
In fact, I plan on doing a show.
A Bugs
what
Bunny
I
show.
learned from history from Bugs Bunny. And think about it. Kill the rabbit,
Yeah.
kill the rabbit. Opera. The gremlin, the war war
Yeah.
rations and planes and all that stuff. And then there was one episode with a monkey and an organ grinder. So I bought everything and then finally got the machine.
So that's the song that it plays right there,
Well,
right?
it's one of the songs. Yeah,
yeah, one of the
this is
songs is
machine.
on the reel. It works!
It works, and you need to make some money for me, pal. I gotta pay rent.
All right, chat. Here we go.
Can you text us pennies, please?
Can you text us pennies?
Manhattan rent expensive. Lots of pennies.
Okay, that's cool.
Isn't that great?
There
I
you
love
go.
that machine.
Okay, so wait, that's a question right quick. How do you pay for all this?
I actually, believe it or not, I'm one of those bootstrap kind of guys,
Yeah.
and I just work, myself to death.
Do you take like
And,
donations on a website or
we
something?
take donations and things, and of course where we teach,
Yeah,
they'll
yeah,
pay us.
like
But I mean, it
schools,
doesn't.
museums, or whatever.
These things are more than kids,
Yeah, yeah.
schools can afford. So
Absolutely.
I actually have a video career and other careers, and I'm working. I just
Gotcha.
work very hard.
But you
It's
have a
mitzvah job.
website or something. You
And
go
I have a
to.
website. Oh yeah, museumofinterestingthings.com.
.com.
Museumofinterestingthings also.org.
Gotcha.
And for those of you who are challenged with typing, I got museum things.
Museum things.
Also, I think it's .org.
Just shortening it down some.
Yeah,
nice.
because it was driving me crazy that people
God.
have to type so much.
Chat, put those links into chat right quick. And is there like a donation link on your website or something?
I don't have a donation.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
I will put one up soon.
Okay, yeah.
But people mail things. They'll email me and they'll say to me, and I guess you can PayPal to me.
Yeah, like a PayPal account or something?
Yeah, the email address on the website.
The email
is
address on the
PayPal, so
website
if
is
you
the
want to
PayPal
donate, I
address.
would be more than happy.
Somebody send Denny like $1 or something. We're gonna fill that's
Yeah,
100 pennies for the
penny-
thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
or
100
more. I mean, whatever.
Exactly.
Cool.
So,
So I feel like I need to get out of the way. Like.
I know, right? Let's see what's back over here. Oh, you had loved this when you walked through the door, so we got to pull it out.
Oh yeah.
And I was actually using this next to my bed until I got internet phone.
Really?
Yeah, but internet phone doesn't work with dial.
What is that even? How many people in chat know what this is? Could you dial a phone number with this?
Or are you going to do text messaging?
You're gonna try to tap it to dial it. That is an old school rotary
And I
phone.
want you to know, it's not only a telephone, it is the first Twitter because we've got Tweety Bird right there. So it is Twitter for you.
Oh no,
'Cause, yeah,
that's terrible.
I know. I'll never get that joke twice.
I remember we used to dial into radio contests. So when I was a kid, they would have on the radio like the 9th caller will win tickets to whatever, right?
What'd you win?
It was a trip to Dallas to watch a football game once. Yeah,
Oh
they
my
flew
God,
us to
you
Dallas
rock.
on Southwest Airlines to
Man,
watch the
I
Cowboys
think he
play.
may have beat me because I won, I can remember 3,
Yeah,
but I didn't fly anywhere. But I won tickets to The Cure.
really?
I won tickets to The Cure. I won tickets to Joan Jett on New Year's Eve.
Wow.
And some of her members know me, and actually one of my friends did her album covers. Spencer Drake is the best album cover man in the world. He did the Ramones that won Emmys. He did, and he's going to talk at one of our speakeasies. And we want to work together on some projects because
Yeah.
I want to do an 80s speakeasy. But he did the Ramones, he did the Velvet Underground,
Yeah.
and Joan Jett, and I won tickets to. But I randomly won tickets on a dial.
On a dial.
On a dial.
Because it was the thing, it was like, oh, well, the 9th caller, the 10th caller, the 100th caller or whatever, and you would have to dial the number, and it's like...
Right. And the third one was, you're not going to believe it, U2. I got tickets to U2 using the
Wow.
dial. Now I had a trick. That's why I always won.
Yeah?
Should I tell the world my secret on
I think
how
it's
I
probably
won?
okay. We don't use these anymore, right?
Yeah,
It's
nobody
fine. I think
uses
it's okay,
this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to reveal the secret that made me win almost every single time. So normally, if you wanted to dial a number, let's say the number 4, you went like that
Right.
and let go, correct? I didn't do that. I went like this and I pushed it. And I went like that and I pushed it. And I went like that and I pushed it. And I beat everyone
To
out.
get it back
so now you
around.
know. Now
Now
it's
you
done.
know.
I'll never win tickets again. Because all of you are going to push your dial phones on me.
Okay, how many people even know what we're talking about, like dial-in radio
know,
contests?
it's
The younger people may not understand what we mean, but it was a big thing. And then we got a digital phone, like a push-button phone.
Right,
It was the
and I was
craziest
beating
thing.
everyone because we had them early.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Redial got there,
Redial, oh my
I
gosh.
was, for the first few months of Redial, I was winning everything. And then everyone got smart to it, and I was like, darn. So
Oh, no.
there's always that window of opportunity when
Yeah,
you figure when
like the
new
early
tech-
adopter to
you know?
technology.
Yeah, I was one of those guys that got away with
That says
murder.
Apollo 14. What is that?
Yes.
I'm gonna.
This is an original
There we go.
8mm film of the Apollo 14 mission.
What moon
So this
voyage
would
of
be your
Kitty Hawk?
Blockbuster Video or your Netflix back in the day. There were companies that released everything on actual film. So
It's
you
actual
open this
film?
up, and there it is. It is an actual film that you could buy. And Castle Films had these things.
Yeah.
And Thunderbird Films, I believe, was one of them.
Okay.
There were all these different companies that sold you originally 16mm.
Yeah.
And then when 8mm came out, they did 8. And what is 8mm? I don't know if you realize this. They were cheap. They didn't want to do another process.
Okay.
So they cut 16mm film in half.
In half.
That's 8.
That's 8mm.
Yeah. How frugal is that?
God,
So one of my favorite items.
it's an actual thing. Yeah.
Oh, and a
What is
metal
that?
record. This is one of the coolest things in the world. It's a speakerphone
Speakerphone
record.
recording studios.
So you would go to the top of the Empire State Building or 42nd Street, and you'd go into this little studio, and you'd have a microphone, and you would sing, and they would make a record, and you could sing "Happy Birthday" for your mom,
Yeah.
and give her this cool record, the speakerphone record. And I have the machines that make these.
That make them?
Yeah.
It's not the machine that plays it, it's the machine that makes the records.
Yeah, I actually have a speakerphone record player that has 2 arms.
Yeah?
One makes records. One plays the records, but one actually cuts
Records
a groove,
them.
and you could make your own records.
Cuts the groove.
But here's the problem. Stalin and the communists didn't like our culture,
Okay.
so they banned it. But kids always find a way to bootleg, right?
Yeah?
So they smuggled recordettes into communist Russia. But wait a second, Doc. Where do you find a blank record in communist Russia? Where did I just come from today?
Today. Oh, I don't know actually. Oh, the
The
hospital?
hospital.
Yeah?
They went to he knows our cameraman knows. They went to hospitals. They took X-ray paper and they cut them into circles and they recorded their favorite pop music on people's X-rays with their bones and ribs
Really?
still on the X-rays.
Really?
So they nicknamed them Bones and Ribs Records.
Bones and Ribs
Yeah.
Records.
Wait a second, guys. Is this not an interesting thing?
It's a pretty interesting thing.
Should we not add this to the Museum of Interesting Things? You know what, guys? I think we should order one just for him, right? We should have it flown in from Russia just for you.
Just for me.
And in fact, I did.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we had it flown in just for you, and it arrived. It's amazing how quickly you can do that live
Are you
on the air.
kidding me?
Yeah, talk about express
It's
mail.
amazing.
Yeah, if any of you believe this, I've got a bridge in Brooklyn for you to sell. But we did have it flown in from Russia.
No kidding.
Yeah, so this is an original Bones and Ribs record.
How do you keep up with all of this?
I know, it's crazy talk. So there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, a guy's skull.
That's. Oh, you can see it. Could you see that on the?
Is that not the craziest thing you've ever seen
So
in your
it's
life?
X-ray
That is
film
a guy's
of a
skull.
guy's skull.
Yeah, but look at it. Can you catch the grooves? There it is. This is a record. You can play this on a modern record player. It's 78 RPM, but as long as you have 78, this plays today.
What?
Yeah. And I've got the king himself,
Really?
Elvis. I've got Elvis on Bones and Ribs
On
records.
Bones and Ribs.
I don't know if it's his own bones. It's a Russian guy. But, you know, I got it. And I've got the master. I've got Louis Armstrong.
Really?
Yep, I've got Louis Armstrong on Bones and Ribs. And
So what? How do you
I
go
have
on the
the-
internet and you search? Is this on like
There's
Russian
actually
eBay or something? Or?
There's a girl actually who's a friend of mine, and I email her every so often, and I tell her I need this. And I've actually started. I got because in the 3D Society where the CEO knows what's his name, the guy from Queen.
Okay. May?
Why am I Brian May?
Yeah.
He's like a big enthusiast
Yeah.
on 3D apparently. Get his books; they're amazing.
He's also an astrophysicist.
And he's an PhD.
Yeah,
Go
that's,
figure.
that's why I knew. I usually don't know band names.
So he's brilliant with 3D. He's
Yeah.
actually one of the amazing collectors, and he loves the museum. He gets my emails, and he loves the society.
That's
So
awesome.
he has a whole bunch of stuff having to do with 3D on this. Oh, so I got Queen
Right?
on Bones and Ribs.
On
also.
Bones and Ribs.
Yeah. So I'm dying to present it to Brian May and say, so would you release it like this?
Would you release it?
You'd have to break a lot of bones if you sell millions of records.
God.
So yeah, it wouldn't be cost
That's
effective.
What is this thing?
This one here?
Yeah.
This, I was doing a show in
Is it a
Massachusetts, and this was like in an antique shop in Massachusetts. John, my buddy John Lewis, you're probably watching going, I remember buying that. Yeah, this is a fan. It's my only fan. Can you tell I wait to Coney? I don't know what you're thinking, but there it is, my fan.
It's your fan.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
your
know.
only fan. Nice.
Exactly.
But why? It's like fabric.
Yeah.
Does it not have blades?
Yeah, I know. I guess so it doesn't cut your finger off.
It's like a safety fan.
Yeah.
Oh my
good-
gosh!
I
It
like
just
that.
slaps you. It like flogs you instead of cuts you.
Yeah. But if you throw anything, then you want to use this.
What is that?
So this would be known as either a punk or a knockdown
Yeah.
toy.
It has a
And-
hinge on the bottom.
Right, because you would go to like Coney Island and you'd throw the baseball at this thing or the softball and it'd go poof. Although half of the time they probably had a brick behind it.
Yeah, they had a brick behind it. It's like nailed
Yeah.
down or something.
Yeah, you had to be like, some like serious baseball star. Like
Is it heavy or is it
Al
light?
Strawberry.
Like,
Here,
it's not too heavy.
I put things in people's hands.
Yeah,
in this
yeah, yeah.
museum.
That's
very, very
awesome.
hands-on.
God,
Yeah, there's too much here.
there's an 8-track tape down there.
Yes,
I was
I've
telling
got
my
a
daughter about
bunch of
8-tracks the other
8-track
day.
machines.
God, what is? All right, this little green thing here. Like, see the little green thing?
That's a little toy children's record player.
Okay.
I've got a whole collection of I actually lecture on the history of music and music and record players.
There's like a toy train up there that says radioactive waste on it.
Yeah, so that is two of my shows. My Doomsday show, which is the Cold War and the space race, but
Yeah.
it's also my train show. And we've done the New York, the subway car, the train museum.
Like a subway museum or
Yeah,
something.
we have a
Gotcha.
train museum in New York.
God.
The MTA museum. They're very cool.
We're in one room and we could probably stand in this one room for literally 8 hours looking at stuff.
Yes.
Do you have other rooms too?
Columbia University, one of their archaeological students, archaeology students came here. She called me up and she goes, "We want to do an archaeological dig in your Museum of Interesting Things." And I said, "Oh my God, I'm as old as mummies now, darn." And who knows if there's a mummy in there anyway?
There may be some underneath some of this
Somebody
stuff,
might have
yeah.
donated one. I didn't buy one. Or maybe it was someone I knew and they just stayed
showed
there
up one day,
long
like,
enough to be a mummy.
They came for a show and then they just sort of
But
left it.
She said, we're going to pick a 3-foot square, and she picked the one right around over there.
Yeah.
And we're going to do an archaeological dig, just like they do in Egypt. So it was like going
They put,
down.
like, stakes
you know,
around it.
like, it was so
There's
funny.
a little brush.
So don't tell my mother, but she found like 58 items in a 3-foot square. And I said, yeah, don't tell my mother that. I'll get disowned.
It's like an archaeologist's dream, the density of
Oh,
artifacts.
she got such a kick out of it. I made her send me the list because I'm like, really? There's really 58 in that 3-foot square.
Hilarious.
And she was like, yep.
Should we like decompress back this way? There was
Yeah,
some space
yeah.
stuff over here you were showing us.
Yes, one of my favorite is.
Chat, what do y'all
Okay,
think it
everyone
is?
in the chat room, what is this? Go ahead, start saying, what
yeah,
is
no,
this
for real,
item?
no. I'll read chat. What is this thing, y'all?
What is that? I'm not going to tell you right away. Go ahead, try to guess.
There's some clues on the front of it, it looks like.
Right. So some of you are saying clock, aren't you? Because you see that, right?
Yeah, they say
some
alarm
of you
clock.
are saying radio, right?
Radio,
But
clock,
it was
radio.
also a television. How cool is that? After we landed on the moon,
Yeah?
1969, everything had to look like a moon landing device
Gotcha.
throughout the 70s. So this is an early 70s moon landing space capsule, video capsule, television, belonged to my friend Chuck.
Really?
Yeah, it was in his bedroom for like decades.
Really?
And then
I mean, it's got
got
like RF antenna leads on the back, y'all.
Oh,
and it's,
you know what
yeah,
I
It's got
did?
a cable adapter.
You know why I have this?
Yeah?
Because I have a history of computer games show, and I have 2 working palms.
Really?
and I couldn't get him to work on any of my
Did you play
televisions.
Pong on this?
So I thought to myself, none of the televisions work, and we have a show coming up in a week.
Yeah.
And then I walked in my living room and I go, wait a second. I do have
I have a
one
television.
I have one
It's quite
television
portable.
left,
It's portable too.
and I have one television left I hadn't tried. And I thought, no, not this is the one that's going to be the only one out of all of the televisions I own. So I go, well, it's worth a try.
It's worth a try.
And it Pong, and it went. I played Pong.
You
on
played
this,
Pong
in the
on
game,
this
in the show we did, and it was like, it was so cool. And I said, what better?
It's like the best thing to play Pong
I was
on,
like,
right?
you know what? Nature broke all of my televisions, or maybe
Intentionally, it
not
was the universe conspiring.
it just wouldn't work with Pong except this one.
That's
very proud
that would be like a cathode ray tube television as well.
Yeah,
Like the
that's an
top of the
old-fashioned
thing is the
black
back
and
of
white,
the
by the
projector.
way.
It's black and white.
It's a black and white. So yeah. Thank God Pong is black and white. So we have this, which is very important for the space show.
Yeah.
So this is a mutoscope, but you would know it as, everyone know the TV station Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
Well, this is a Nickelodeon.
It's a Nickelodeon.
Yeah, but it was really called a mutoscope.
A mutoscope.
And
It was like
think
a technical term.
Mutation and scope, and it was
Yeah.
the New York Mutoscope Company.
Really?
So I actually got it from the second donor who still owns the company.
Yeah.
And this one and this one are the only ones in the world made out of plexiglass for the New York Children's Museum,
Okay.
so that kids could learn about it. It was there for about 40 years. And what is it basically? It's a movie viewer. It's a flip book.
Right?
Because what is your YouTube? What you guys, what you're watching right now in this video, you're not watching moving image. You're not watching video. You know what you're watching? You're watching a flip book.
Flip book.
A bunch of stills flash before your faces, and flip books go back hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Nothing modern about what you're looking at. It is a flip book. And this is the holy grail
That's amazing.
of movies for the Moviola. This is Trip to the Moon by George Méliès.
Trip to the moon.
And what do you think, guys?
I would.
Do you guys give this kid over here permission to have a quarter?
to have a quarter to watch the
Do
movie?
you have to ask Mom for permission for a quarter?
Chad, I need 25 cents right quick. Anybody got 25
Somebody
bits
text
sitting
25
around?
cents.
Just
Okay,
25 cents
so as
right
long
quick.
as Mom hold out your hand like that. Okay, you take this quarter. What you do with this quarter, you like my Coney Island voice?
There you go.
You take this quarter, you put your quarter in here, you spin this clockwise, and today's movie is a trip to the moon. We're going to do it actually this way so that you're going to have to look.
Does it get like light or something?
Because
or-
you're going to see a light here, and you'll be able to film it from there and from here.
Gotcha.
So let's switch
I'll
places.
switch this way? All right, cool. You know, through the wonders of technology, I did get 25 cents right there.
I love you guys.
So they can actually give me
I
25
love
cents
you.
across the internet instantly.
You know you guys are giving him a free ride. You know that, right? And nobody in Coney Island gets a free ride.
Okay.
So you put your quarter in there, you spin this clockwise, and you
All
get
right.
a trip to the moon for a quarter.
Put that down like that.
Richard Branson, if you're watching this, you sell a trip to the moon for $200,000. You could just come here and get it for a quarter.
You get it for a quarter. We do it
It's
this
a
way?
bargain. Yep, clockwise. Nobody knows what clockwise is. Everyone has a cell phone.
That's hilarious. What's the runtime? Does it based on how quickly
Yeah, it depends on how fast you
So, if you want to fast forward your movie, you just crank faster. There's no rewind though. Can you see it from there? There's the end.
You win. And I even took a shot of you.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that the coolest thing? And I've got.
Do you keep the quarter?
Hell yeah! How do you think I pay rent? The penny and the quarter.
And the
I
quarter.
now have 26 cents towards my Manhattan rent.
Stop when you see the title page, so the next person is ready to go, right?
Yeah,
It goes back
clearly,
to the title
yes.
page.
I have Charlie Chaplin on this machine.
Yeah.
I have Felix the Cat. I have the movie Metropolis.
Really?
Yeah, that was another holy grail item. Those two, that and Trip to the Moon were the hardest ones.
So is this plugged into the wall?
This one is plugged in, but
It has
you
power.
wouldn't have to. You
Okay.
could just do it with the light.
With natural light
Yeah,
coming in the
but
side,
because
gotcha.
it's enclosed,
Yeah, it's easier
you
to
really
see
do
with
need
the
power.
light on it,
But
yeah.
he made he made this, and I perfected this one so that you could do it. Without.
Ah,
And the
that's
light
cool.
looks.
Look at all the quarters in there, chat.
Hey, don't look at that.
Look at all the quarters in there.
Clearly a man who's like their,
Yeah.
New
Like, look.
York attitude.
Pull back the curtain. Like, look at this. Nice. What's next?
Oh, you're
What
looking
is
at
that?
a very important machine.
Here, I'll move this way.
The whole time you guys have been here, you've been right next to the first IBM.
The first
And you had no
IBM?
clue. So originally IBM made time clocks.
Okay.
And it was called the Bundy Time Clock Company, and then the International Time Recording Company, and all these
Yeah.
other funny names. So this is one of those clocks from, I believe, the internet, when it was called International Time Recording Company.
Right.
And so this whole machine is it.
The
I'm
whole
actually
thing.
one of the organizers in New York for steampunk, so I do a lot of steampunk
Yeah,
events.
yeah.
So this I bring, well, I don't bring it, but the steampunk crowd loves this thing.
Yeah.
So you would, let's say you were employee number 5.
Right?
So what I would do is,
No way.
I would move this over to the number 5, and then I'd go clocking in like this. Ka-chunk!
And that would like punch your card? Or
And there was a
what?
card in the wood box over here. They would punch your card in at, whatever time.
And so that would record the time that employee number 5 punched
Clocked
the
in.
little
Yeah.
piston, whatever that thing is called.
A later one, which is similar to the one Edison owned, is right next to you here.
Oh,
So
wow.
this, you would put your time card in there, and then maybe with even your foot or your hand, you would go and clock in. How
There's
cool
no
is that?
sneaky clocking out either.
Oh no!
Because it's like ding!
All right,
It's like,
everyone
what is this, break
knows
time?
you're 10 minutes
Yeah,
late.
you're 10 minutes late clocking in.
Everybody knows. That's why they made a big old ding on that thing.
That's hilarious.
And lo and behold, look what we got right in front of us.
Oh, jeez.
A Thomas Edison cylinder record player, one of my favorite items.
Yeah?
Which you wind up like this.
So it's got a
And
spring in there, right?
You want to wind it a bit?
Yeah, sure.
Hold on to that.
It's
So it
not gonna
doesn't
work,
slip
huh?
onto your foot.
I'll
I'll hold on to it.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there you
So wind it like that.
Yeah, clockwise. Ooh, you're going to take up
I don't know what that was.
part of the machine. No.
Can I overwind it? When do I stop?
That's when you stop.
Like that?
Yep, you're good.
All right, cool.
And let me put that over there.
All right, perfect.
And away we go.
Let's see it moving across the wax cylinder. How old is that piece of equipment?
So this is from late 1800s. It was from the late 1800s.
Yeah.
It was invented around 1877.
Yeah.
And that record is Ada Jones, and that's from around 1902.
No kidding.
Yeah, she was kind of the Lady Gaga of that
The
era.
Lady Gaga of
Yeah.
1902.
I'm one of her biggest fans. I've got 30 of her records.
Really?
At least. I'm hoping that she tours.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if... And believe it or not, her and that entire orchestra would have to sing into the horn because that machine records.
This machine
All
records?
record players, including the one back there, and my big one that's my star of my show over here that you always see in all our stuff.
Yeah.
That Edison player can record, and I have the recording reproducer is what they call it.
Wow.
And I'm going to leave some of these for you so I don't forget.
Yeah, cool.
Put them over there.
Yeah, just put them over there. We'll get them.
But yeah, those machines could record, and Ada and her whole orchestra would have to sing into these giant horns.
Into the horns.
But you could actually do home recordings with these machines.
Was it? That's a wax cylinder or something? Originally, it was.
Yeah,
a wax
originally it was
cylinder, I
wax, beeswax, and a few other ingredients.
Yeah.
And then the later ones were celluloid,
Right.
which is just a fancy word for plastic.
think? Yeah.
So Lady Gaga sells a lot of records, right?
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah, a few.
Yeah.
She would have to sing into every one of them.
Into every. Oh, because there's no way to duplicate them.
Originally. And then eventually they realized to duplicate them. But in the early days, it was take 1, take 2, take 3.
Like every record
Yeah,
that
it's
went
crazy.
out was them singing it
Yeah.
one time
Now,
just for you.
They would have a room with multiple players, but
Yeah.
you still, that was take
Gotcha.
1, and they do an 8-hour shift.
So they might have like
Singing
10
over them.
recorders going, and
Right.
they'll all record. Then they have
But
10
still, if
copies
you
of the
sold
record.
1,000 copies, you're doing them 10 at a time.
Oh wow!
That's not fun. It was like the old days of emails before they had those programs.
Yeah.
So you was like, I'm emailing 20 people, and then another 20, and
Then another 20, then another 20.
Yeah, I used to have to do that. That
No
was
kidding,
easy.
like mailing list sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
What is? There's some space stuff here. What do we have
So
in the space
I
stuff
got
pile?
some. So these are stereo 3D. Remember we were talking about 3D.
Yep,
3D
yep.
goes as far back as the early 1800s. Believe it or not. In fact,
Like we realized we had two eyes, and if you give them each a little bit different
That's
image.
exactly what I tell people.
Yeah.
And we have pictures of everyone on the internet. Who is this man?
Oh wow!
So that is a 3D picture of Abraham Lincoln, because we had 3D even longer than Abraham Lincoln, so it's over 150 years.
Wow.
Yeah. As soon as they started doing 3D, they started making cameras
Yeah.
like this one. 3D, 3 lenses.
Oh, geez.
So raise your hand if you have 3 eyes.
Why does it have 3 lenses?
I don't know. What is it doing? It's taking your soul.
The third lens is your soul.
No, we'll discuss that later.
Okay.
For our purposes, this one is for focusing.
Ah.
Because you never want to focus on the right eye
Gotcha.
or the left eye. You want to focus on the center, because
foc-
this man is the most important thing in the room.
Gotcha.
Clearly,
Gotcha.
that's why he's holding the camera.
That makes sense. All right.
And you are seeing 2 of me as you're looking at
Right,
it.
right, right. And if you do the thing where you go like this, you get
Right,
like
you
2
close-
different. Yeah.
Yeah, if you do your thumb thing. And
Yeah,
close,
yeah, it
everyone
moves
try
back and
this.
forth.
If you haven't tried this, put your thumb in front of your face, close one eye, close the other eye, switch back and forth. Your thumb
Yeah.
is moving, but you're not moving it. Oh, we were talking about, stereo, so
Yeah,
let's do
yeah.
that first. So that is a stereoscope from the 1800s.
With a picture of the.
And a picture of the moon, because we're doing our space show
Yeah.
today. So what you would do is put it in your eyes like that,
Yeah.
and then you move this until it's focused.
Based
and
on the width of your eyes or whatever, I guess.
and your eyesight.
Yeah.
And then you would see a 3D picture of the moon.
Of the moon.
How cool is that?
I need to just put my phone down because there's. All right, I got it.
And if this isn't
Oh, that's cool.
moment.
It actually looks
Wait,
like
no,
it's.
no,
Oh, no, wait.
I was just right. I had the camera right where. it
Sorry,
was.
sorry.
Ta-da! Oh, wait, we should do one together. We're going to
Okay,
do an
that's cool.
absolutely ridiculous selfie.
Can I look at the camera with this as the selfie? Like.
Yeah, yeah. So everyone, you're going to witness the first selfie that we're doing together with the camera behind us.
You know I can't actually see anything.
So
right?
this is a triple selfie.
I just see the moon.
That's okay. I'm moving you where I need you to be.
Tell me when.
We did it.
Okay.
That's crazy talk.
Here's this.
So yeah, you guys would buy packs of 25 of these and learn about the moon.
Different things. You could
Yeah.
packs of the pictures.
So you'd learn about
Switch 'em out.
France, or you'd learn about New York.
Here's the
or you'd
Eiffel
learn about
Tower.
the Civil War.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
was your Google. And
Your Google.
And it was. It was YouTube because you'd look, and it was Google because on the back it'd tell you about it. So it was your Encyclopedia Britannica, your Google,
Yeah,
and YouTube.
yeah.
That was the way you learned about
It's got
stuff.
the educational material on the back and then the.
Yeah.
Wow.
So some of the other space stuff that we got over here. This is an original Buck Rogers disintegrator gun from 1930.
Okay.
Yep, and it does work.
It does work.
Yes, the Buck Rogers disintegrator does work. Watch, when I load it like that,
Okay.
and I shoot this
Don't
man
point that
right
at me.
here, watch what's going to happen. Now, tomorrow you won't be here.
Tomorrow you'll disintegrate.
It's from 1930. It's geriatric disintegration.
time to operate.
It's very slow. So tomorrow he won't be there. Trust me. Watch tomorrow and you'll see. He won't be here at all.
It's just like a little clicker sound. Like
Yeah,
you cock
pretty
it, I
much.
guess. You just sort of load it and it clicks.
Just go boop, and it goes crazy. I got like 4 or 5 of them. I love these things.
Really?
Yeah, it's like my stars. And of course you got it. This is more of a. This is a later version. It's a repro.
Right.
But I love these little.
Oh.
So it's a friction toy.
Yeah, you roll it on the ground or whatever and it makes the noise. That's like 50s throwback looking stuff there.
Right, yeah. and
Yeah.
I think the Schilling Company is redoing some of them. I don't even know which to show first because they're all fun.
Just whichever one makes it not fall.
So this one is one of my favorite items. It is
Okay.
an original
What?
space shuttle jumpsuit.
Okay.
So this is
Looks like a technician's
during the
jumpsuit or
space-
something.
Exactly. He's
Yeah.
good. So you remember you'd watch the space shuttle go off. All those
Yeah.
guys dressed
All
in
the
white,
bodysuit sort of guys
fixing
around.
it and doing
Yeah.
all that stuff. This is one of their suits.
It's got a mission patch on it.
Yes, because they change the patch every time.
Oh.
So this was their quick way, because every mission had it,
Yeah.
and they didn't want to sew a different
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
So it was Velcroed on.
The
So that's
Velcroed
one of the
on.
mission patches.
And that one, it
And
doesn't
that's
have
an
a
original mission patch.
It's Space Shuttle, and y'all can figure out what it is. It's Crichton, Casper, Mullane, Hilmers, and Thout. Thout is the 5 astronaut names on there, and it's Space Shuttle era. So figure out which one that was, y'all. Then look it up.
Yeah, put it up on the internet.
which
Tell us what
STS is
year.
that for?
I'd love to know what year. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm sure the guy that got me it, he was the guy that was one of these engineers.
Yeah.
That designed like everything. Parts
That's
of the space shuttle and parts of the
crazy.
launch pads.
You just
And he
have
had
it
like
here.
5 of these, and
Yeah.
he got them to me.
No kidding.
But one of them, he said, I can't sell you.
Okay.
And I said, why? And he goes, because it's one of the blue ones. And I said, what's those? And
Oh,
those are the
wow.
ones they used every day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I said, that's even cooler. Why won't you sell? And he goes, because it's ripped.
Oh.
And I thought,
Wait.
it's ripped on the space shuttle.
Yeah.
I want that one more.
I want
He
that
goes,
one more.
No. I can't charge you for something that's ripped.
Yeah.
And he gave it to me.
Really?
Yeah. He said because it's ripped.
Because it's ripped.
So I'm thinking of doing
It's like
an
a value
animation.
add.
I know,
that
right?
It's ripped by the space shuttle.
I'm thinking of having like an animation where the space shuttle takes off and there's a technician dangling off the edge and go, that's how he ripped it.
It rips.
Exactly. And go, there's the rip, see?
That's awesome.
You know, clearly a true story.
Yeah. No kidding. We've got the solar space phone.
I've got the solar space phone. Yep,
What
this
is
is one of
that?
my stars of my show. I bring it to almost every show, or at least definitely the space shows.
Okay.
So during the early 1960s, around 1962, 64,
Right.
a lot of companies and even defense contractors would make bombs to blow people up.
Right.
And then toys for kids.
And then toys for kids.
Because clearly that's what
go.
you would do with
Yeah,
that
you got to
technology.
diversify.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So this is a solar space phone. This was a normal company, and they would use the sun's rays, and it would go down there, and then he would talk into this, and it would turn solar power, turn his voice into, power, electrical signal.
What?
And then it would go solar power, and then it would go into there, and she had headphones, and it would convert it into voice again. So it was
Okay.
the solar space phone.
And it has an atom on there as well, just because why not, right?
And it was as seen on
As seen on Newsweek.
clearly. and I love this 50s
Yeah.
1960s type graphic
Yeah.
because he can only talk and she can only
She can only listen,
So
yeah.
clearly I love
the
this.
transmitter and the receiver,
Now,
right?
if you think the box is cool, wait
Yeah.
till you see the solar space phone.
I feel like I won't need to catch it when it falls out of the box. Like,
How cool is that?
I like your sign that says, "Please do not scream in me."
I know, because everyone kept screaming into it and messing with it. But
Okay.
yes, it. There you go. We're going to. You're
Oh,
going to.
are we gonna solar space
Is that
phone
your
here?
phone? No,
Yeah.
you need a solar.
I need a
space
solar
phone,
space phone.
Because clearly that would not work in the modern world.
Oh, it's got some sort of like doohickey in the back. It's like connected
that's
to a
converting
magnet or
the,
something.
solar energy.
Wait, so for real, I
So
can.
you're gonna put it on. Yeah, you're gonna hear.
All right,
that.
here, I'll
And
listen
then
to it.
You're gonna listen like that.
All right.
And then
Oh.
aim that at me. Okay. Are you filming, cameraman? There you go. Okay. So I'm gonna say hello. Can you hear me now?
I mean, I'm standing 3 feet from you, but yes.
Yeah, so clearly he can hear you. And that's the absurdity of the solar space phone because,
Hello?
first of all, ladies and gentlemen, did I not tell you you need the sun? Are we not in a room?
We don't have any sun here.
Yeah, no, although it's the hottest day in New York, the sun is outside my apartment. So it's the hottest day outside of my apartment and a little bit inside. But yeah, this would need the sun, first of all. Second of all, what I find absurd is that you had to be within eye shot because the sun had to hit this, and then this had to
You
reflect
have line
into
of
that little
sight.
thing.
Yeah.
In which case, I can see you. I can just say, hello,
hey.
come over.
But no, look at the box. It's a new principle. Secret space talk. Future space communications, man.
Clearly, you need one of
It says
these
right there.
instead of just talking to people.
Scientific,
It would
educational,
be far
fun.
more efficient and logical.
It says stethoscope. All right, that goes
I can
there.
probably check your heart when I'm
And then however that goes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, do you not like his show? Do you not like all the episodes he's done? Are you guys not fans of his episodes?
That's awesome.
Do you want the proper adjective for his show?
Uh-oh.
And there it would be. Clearly, his show is the bomb,
The bomb.
because this is a thermonuclear weapon.
It says this nose cone is a genuine part of a dismantled model B-57 thermonuclear weapon.
Yes.
What?
So my show and his show are the bomb.
It's the bomb.
Yeah, we are the bomb.
It's just
Yeah,
a nose.
so this
this
is the
looks
nose
like
thing.
it's like fiberglass or something, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, some sort of plastic.
Yeah, it's the
and
nose
someone
cone of a
realized
nuclear bomb.
when they were dismantling them, they dismantled, I believe, 930 according to that.
Yeah.
And this is number 250.
Number 250.
So somebody realized this is a huge piece of history. We should not throw
Yeah.
this away or
Put a
destroy
plaque on it.
Somebody should put a plaque on
Yeah.
it and preserve it for history because, 100 years from now, these bombs will all be gone. And this is the reason for the Cold War.
Wow.
So yeah, somebody was smart enough to save one of these, and I added it to our Doomsday Show. And
It's
yeah.
it's
My
like a
phone
solar
is-
space phone and an Edison phonograph, and then the nose
the
cone from a
inside
nuclear
phone.
bomb. Like interesting, interesting things.
And there's the
Jeez.
nose cone.
Okay, that's cool.
And those of you, the literate bunch out there that like to read plaques,
Yeah.
there's the plaque. Yeah, one of my favorite items.
Hey, did y'all find that shuttle mission? Chet, did you find the shuttle mission? They say it was from STS-36, and that was in 1990.
1990.
1990,
Wow,
yeah.
that's
So
cool. Thank you.
STS-36 from 1990. So the 36th
Okay.
space shuttle mission.
So I'll put a little post-it on that so
Yeah,
you know.
so you remember, yeah.
1990. Yes.
Cool. We continue to go around. And how are we on
There's
time
so many
here?
things here. Just so.
Yeah.
Oh, remember we were talking about the fact that camera took his soul. I kid you not, because There's a man you know
Right?
that believes in this.
Okay.
There's a man you all know that believes in this spirit photography to such an extent, he wrote a whole book.
You wrote a book on it.
The Case for Spirit Photography.
I'm trying to cheat. I'm trying to see who it's written by.
And one of my majors, one of the things at NYU was
Yeah.
actually literature and economics, go figure.
Why
So
not?
this is a first edition, 1923 copy of that book. And that man was...
Arthur Conan Doyle.
Can
What?
you guys read that?
All right.
Sir
What
Arthur
else
Conan
did he
Doyle
write?
believed in the case for spirit photography.
What else did he write?
And he wrote, Sherlock Holmes.
Thank you. I knew the name from something, but I didn't want to be an idiot.
But
and be like,
because-
oh yeah, he wrote.
Well, the reason why you're not remembering is because this is so absurd that it took me a minute to realize too. I'm like, wait a
It's
second,
the same guy.
why do I know that name? And then because you just can't think that the most logical detective in the world
Would also...
the guy who wrote that book would write a book on spirit photography.
Wow.
But look, you got to admit, I mean, is there not a ghost right behind those two people?
There is.
I mean, do you not seek photographic evidence of ghosts?
It's either a ghost or a multiple exposure. I don't know. Like,
No, it must be a ghost. Because look, here's another one. I mean,
so
is
much
there not a
evidence.
ghost behind that woman?
Look, that's amazing.
I mean, clearly, is this not photographic evidence? Can you please focus on this man standing right here?
there's one of a...
Ladies and gentlemen, do you not see his great-grandma behind him? See her? That's his great-grandma right behind him.
Right now, he's just holding
Doing
the phone
devil
like this,
horns.
right? Yeah, throwing up the horns.
No,
There's one of these with the... I think it was it Abraham Lincoln's... When he passed away, when he was assassinated, I guess, I think that there's one of these spirit photographs of his wife with Abraham Lincoln
true.
behind.
You're
I think
good.
that's one of them, yeah.
And there's a
Saw it on
friend
the
of mine,
internet.
John, who takes Polaroid pictures of me that look like spirit photography. So there's all these pictures of me that he takes, and I have one of them over here. He's probably watching now.
Yeah?
But that's a Polaroid that looks like a spirit photo of me. So if you were alive 100 years ago, they'd probably burn us at the stake for having that picture.
I mean, but you realize it, right? We all have all this CGI and the internet and technology, and we're used to looking at stuff that we know isn't real, right? It's like, that's the Incredible Hulk smashing a helicopter. Like, all right.
But think 100 years
I
ago.
think 100 years ago, they didn't have that context. I mean, we were talking about that about Apollo, where we have all these massive space battles and stuff because we have computers and imagery, right? Even Star Wars is a space battle.
Right.
They didn't have that back when we were launching these big rockets. So to see something like that and be like, I can't even have context for it. It's almost like we're
Trip to the
spoiled
moon
these
was
days.
magical to those people.
Yeah.
In fact, that he also wrote a book, and you guys are probably, some of you are going, he also wrote the one on fairies. You're right. I got the book on fairies. The Coming of Fairies.
The Coming of the Fairies.
So if you've ever gone to like a goth club, there's always these girls wearing
Yeah.
cool t-shirts with this girl holding a fairy. And so there it is. There's the little girl holding the fairy.
Oh, jeez.
A bunch of fairies.
Yeah.
And there's a better picture even. That's the one you always see on t-shirts and refrigerator magnets. So it really was a book. This is a first edition of it. Conan Doyle
cool.
wrote it. This is another Conan Doyle book. These girls admitted that these were cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, cardboard cutouts or something. Yeah.
Unfortunately, he got in big trouble for that.
Yeah.
Houdini, believe it or not, didn't believe in this.
Right?
And he was friends with Conan Doyle, and they actually argued about this.
Yeah.
And I have a first edition copy of Houdini's book, A Magician Among Spirits.
Just three things in the corner over there, like
Yeah,
just
they're
hanging
hanging
out.
And there's even a picture of him with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Oh wow, at the front
So
of the
they
book.
really were friends.
Yeah.
And they argued about this, which I don't know how that argument lasted longer than 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
When he said, look, a picture of this man, a picture of his grandma, you put them two together,
You're
and
done.
you got
Yeah,
your
he's a
grandma
magician. He
hanging out
knows how to
behind.
do illusion stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he would know. The story goes that his mom passed away when he was famous, and he wanted to try to have one last goodbye to his mom.
Ah.
And he went to a spiritualist who conjured up his mom.
And so he
And
wanted
his mom
to-
said, Harry, you look wonderful. You look great. I miss you, Harry.
Yeah.
And Harry said, there's one problem with this picture. My mother was Jewish and spoke Yiddish. The guy didn't even do his
The
homework.
guy didn't even do his homework.
Yeah, so he busted him right.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and of course Harry Houdini knows tricks.
Yeah,
anyway,
he knows.
so he
like,
would've-
he
would
is
know.
the illusionist, right?
Right. So if you're going to trick Harry Houdini, you'd either better
You better be good.
you better be able
better
to
get up
talk
early.
to the dead,
Yeah.
or you're in the New York term a schmuck. Your cameraman like that.
No kidding.
Um,
You have
listen,
so much stuff here.
We do.
You
we
do.
We've been talking a lot.
We
and
have.
You know,
There's some drinking water
I think,
over there, too.
yeah.
The
You know what I think I need? I think this water is good. I'd prefer hot chocolate. Maybe not today so much.
Not
hot sauce.
today.
But I could prefer hot chocolate. And look,
Oh my!
you could ring me up a hot chocolate at this time. Listen, mister, I need a hot chocolate. Can you ring me up at 50 cents? It's just, can you, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
Come on, ring me up a hot chocolate.
Wait a second.
I
Is
gotta
this how
get to
you
work.
like? Can you actually move it?
You gotta ring me up. This
How
is
do
a
you ring
cash
it up?
register. You gotta ring me
What,
up.
you
dude.
put it on
Come on,
50?
mister. Doesn't
No, I put it
don't
on
you work
50,
here?
but there's no
I gotta
button.
get to work, mister.
I wasn't
got
trained
5 minutes.
properly.
Where's the manager?
I also don't
Somebody
wanna break
train
it.
this man. Are you the manager here? Can you teach this guy how to? Is someone on the internet? Can you text and tell
You
us?
know something? I'll give you a discount.
how to
I'll give you
use
40
it?
cents instead.
Yeah, but you gotta ring me up. I gotta get to work.
Where's the-
Come on, will
Look,
someone
all right, can I
text
pull-
how
can I
you
pull
do
this
this
without breaking
Come
it?
on, does anyone figure? Do
I
you
want
guys
to pull
me
it. I don't
tell
want to
you?
break it.
Should I
I'll
tell
pull
you?
it.
Because once I tell you, you'll know, and you'll be like, oh my
I'm not
god.
gonna pull it. I don't want to break it.
I was doing a show in Reno, Nevada,
Pressure.
and I saw this in an antique shop. I had like 10 minutes to get to the show,
Yeah.
and put my show together. And I see this, and I'm dying to buy it. There's no one in the shop except one man.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around, going, "How does it work?"
How does it work?
And I'm thinking, I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
And then I look and I go, "You own this, don't you?" And he goes, "Yup." And I said, "And you know how to work it, don't you?" And he goes, "Yup." And I said, "Don't tell me, because once you tell me,
Yeah.
I'll always know.
I'll always know.
And I'll never be able to guess."
Right.
So I sat there and I went and I said, "You know what, pal? I got a show at the Discovery Museum. I got to get there. I don't have time for this."
Yeah.
So, all right, just show me how it works. He walks up to it and he goes, "What do you want to ring up?" And I said, 50 cents. He goes like that, and he goes,
Oh.
"Now you know." Did anyone guess that?
awesome.
We have to look at your chart and see if
Yeah.
anyone
No. I
guessed
saw.
that you
I saw
would-
this, and I was like, oh, maybe
This
it's
is the
that or
shift
something.
key, which makes it to go to $1.50.
In 50 cents.
But otherwise, it would just do 50. So when you
Wow.
hit the shift, you
Yeah.
made it like the shift key of a keyboard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, and the guy that owned it signed a dollar
Signed a
bill
dollar
me
for it.
and put it in there because
No
it was
kidding.
just too ridiculous not to do.
Yeah.
But
But I'm sitting here, I'm like, I don't want to touch anything because with my luck, I'll go and the handle will come off in my hand. And I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
so the end of the show.
You
Let's
broke
go
it,
ahead
you
and
bought
yeah.
and then you have to ring it up anyway.
You have to ring it up
'cause you bought
anyways.
it. Yeah, so you'll never be able to pay for it because you
God.
can't ring it up.
All right, it's
We're getting
12:50 right now,
Oh my
and we said we
God.
were going to be here till 1. We started 45 minutes late. That's okay. We do have to get back over to the museum as well.
Yes.
What did we miss that you want to show us? Is there anything that
So-
else that
so
we missed?
let's see,
We
what
should
is
come
really
back here,
cool?
by the way.
What is really cool? Holy moly, what is
What
that?
is this thing?
I have no clue what that could possibly. One of the coolest things in the museum that was actually one of these was in the living room of my best friend.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta get one of these for the museum. Finally hunted one down. This is after we landed on the moon. We're staying with the space theme.
Right.
Everything had to look like some sort of lunar landing, device, spaceship device. So this is the spaceship-looking record
The
player.
record player.
How cool is that? And if you're gonna have a cool record player, you gotta have T-Rex on it.
There you go.
So there's T-Rex. I believe it's
T-Rex.
Slider.
The Slider, yeah.
Yeah, cool record. And Slider and its groove. So it kind
Yeah,
of
it makes
matches
sense. It sort of fits with the theme.
Yeah. So this is
So you
one
got
of
your
the-
bass, you got your treble, you got your volume, left balance even.
yeah,
Wow.
everything you need.
Jeez, it's like a
Four
full-on
things.
mix.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorite items in the museum.
Wow. Denny,
Okay,
thank you
fine.
so much for opening up the museum and letting us come through and see all of the cool stuff. We haven't seen all the cool stuff.
No,
Thank
you
you for
have
letting
to
us
look
come see 1% of the cool stuff. Not even
Yeah, it's
1%.
about one.
0.001% of the cool stuff you have.
Yeah. You're
Chat,
welcome.
what do y'all think of this? This is the coolest thing ever. I'd say
Yeah.
we could ask some questions. There's links if you want more information. So
Right.
museumofinterestingthings.org.
Schools, libraries,
Yeah.
all over the country. We are always looking to get more eyeballs on the thing.
I
That
can't
is
imagine how
my
you
next
travel
job.
with this stuff. You know,
It's so
Like-
easy, funny enough. It's actually
Yeah.
like one or two, one big suitcase, one small one, and
Right.
a rolling cart. It's like nothing.
So you have some things that
Yeah.
you can travel. Like clearly, you don't
Because
travel to
every-
schools with this thing, right?
Right,
This
yeah.
is-
We're looking for a permanent location in
Yeah,
New York
yeah.
because I think it should be part of the fabric
You
of
should
New York.
have a permit. This is
So
amazing.
We're hoping that we get a building or a house. So everyone has been emailing me ideas,
Yeah.
properties. We're looking to own it because if we pay rent, a landlord in 100 years will kick us out when we become successful.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
the last thing we want to do is get
Is
rid,
get under that
Kiki
sort of
Bonham
thing.
and all those people end up
Yeah,
paying prices
yeah.
like that. So I'm like, yeah, we should own it, and then 100 years from now, all your kids will go, I remember when it was in his apartment.
Yeah.
And we went
We
to
were
the
actually
apartment.
here in the apartment. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping. But not, even so, I'll still go to schools. because
Yeah.
I think it should travel.
No, it is.
Yeah, I
It's
think it should
fantastic
always
to
travel.
bring artifacts. I'm going to say artifacts.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff to bring cool stuff like this to the kids so that they can sort of see, hey, all this fancy stuff you have nowadays, here's where it came from, because it's important to understand where stuff came from.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like sort of how we got to where we are today, and then some of it we don't use anymore, and some of it it's like, oh, that thing is now this thing plus 100 other things.
Yeah, and it's funny how 100 years later these things still have like a magical quality
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
You know?
It is, so this is one of the things I got to say about the whole thing. In 100 years, my cell phone is not going to be interesting, right?
Sure it will.
But I mean, it's like it
Because
doesn't
everything
have
will
a
be
lever.
embedded into your body.
I know, but where's the buttons to press and where's the lever and will they be able to charge it and
That's
like,
true.
everything's on this flat screen.
That's true.
You look at something like this or look at this cash register. The numbers pop up, right? It doesn't matter if it's not charged. The numbers are like chakunk, 75 cents or whatever. Just sort of the way that things have changed. I don't know that I would be as excited 50 years from now to be looking at this as I am to be looking at this. Or you know what I mean? Because
I
there's
guess
this
we'll find
tangible
out.
aspect of all this stuff.
Yeah, there's just something magical about, you know, the older items. And I collect things up until today because
Yeah.
I know that in 50 years, our stuff will be, you know, flip phones now. People, oh my God, you've got a flip phone. I'm like, dude, I had that like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, like, it isn't that old. It's not an Edison cylinder, but they made these things to last.
Absolutely.
And they made them to have a magical quality, you know, and to have that kind of like timelessness.
Yeah.
And it's that energy that I'm trying to bring back. The real
Absolutely.
conspiracy behind the museum is to bring that positive energy,
Yeah.
to bring that curiosity,
It's cool
that
stuff.
sense of demystifying and tinkering.
Yeah. That's amazing. Y'all, we'll close it out with this. All the different ways that people can keep up with you, right? You're on Facebook, because I think you, like
Yeah,
if you go to
Facebook.
if you're on Facebook, look for Museum of Interesting Things and you'll come
Right.
up, right? We got the website in chat over and over again.
Right,
It was at
.com,
museumofinterestingthings.org, right? You're on Twitter?
I do Twitter also.
You're on Twitter, okay.
Instagram is pretty alive also.
Instagram
I
as
love
well?
that. Yeah, we
Is
we
it just
kinda
like go
post at
search
the
for
same
museum
time.
or?
Museum Things, I think. But
Okay.
if you do a search for Museum of Interesting Things, it'll probably come up.
And I think one of the coolest things that you do here in New York are the speakeasies.
Yeah.
So tell us about the speakeasies, right quick, because there are probably people that would be interested in coming to an event like this.
Right, because you know we do schools mostly or a library, and sometimes you can't make it to a school because it's private
Sure, yeah, there's
or
kids,
a private
yeah.
show. So once a month we decided to do a benefit for the museum. It was
Right.
supposed to be just one,
Right.
but we did it every month.
Worked
every
out well,
month,
so
and every month is a different theme. And over there I show 16 millimeter films,
yeah.
and then I have antiques out on a different theme. So
Right.
there's the Doomsday
The
Space
Doomsday,
Race,
the Space
and
Race,
then
yeah.
there's this wind-up circus with fun animation. And then I'll have the antiques out. I DJ original vinyl
Okay.
records,
Wow.
and it's a speakeasy, of course. with
And it's
refreshments.
speakeasy, yeah.
But yeah, the main thing is the films. And in fact, now everyone loves the 16 millimeter films so much. I've started to travel on the road with the films.
You just play the film?
Yeah, and we have over 300 films. So everything from Billie Holiday and Louis Armstrong, old
Yeah.
footage, to 1930s circus footage. And
So
to
how,
NASA footage.
how do people find out about where the next speakeasy, or where is the next speakeasy going to be?
Or to find out where we're going, or
Yeah,
to
yeah,
have
yeah.
us come to a school. If you email me, then I'll let you know. Once a month, I send out an email blast,
Yeah.
or I put it on the website.
That's right. I get his newsletter, and I get on a regular basis. Like, here's the next speakeasy.
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be at this museum and stuff. Because you're
And
all
I'm-
over the place.
And I'm nice about it. I send one a month.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I don't know how people send like spam every week
5 times
or
a week
every
or
day,
whatever. Oh my
and I'm
gosh.
like, it takes me forever to do one a month.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a full-time job. So
Yeah.
the last thing I want to do is send two.
Absolutely. So it's onto the website. Go to museumofinterestingthings.org. There's a way there
Or
to find
.com.
your email address. There's a way to sign up for the newsletter.
Yep.
You can figure out what the next speakeasy is. You don't do the speakeasies here. You do them at other places.
Right,
or
yeah. Here I
sort
do
of
kind
move
of
around,
like
or
people will call me up and say, where do I go?
where do I go
And
to check this out?
and
Kind of like we
then
did
it's
today.
a family- Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
do that all the time. And later he's going to open up a new acquisition. So you're going to see him open up.
Should we go close with that real quick?
Do you want to close with that?
Yeah, let's go
Yeah,
do it.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
because we do need to get back over towards the museum as well and eat lunch.
Anyway.
Yeah. How you doing? You doing good? All right.
Okay,
We're
so
going
you
this
sit
way.
over there.
Oh, I'm sitting over here
Yep.
on the couch. All right.
And then afterwards, my cameraman's going to do it later.
There's literally like mail.
Yep,
You
every
just-
day I
wherever you
get
want to put
letters
that.
here.
Yep. Just out of the way.
And wait. I like to also, the museum, I like to document these things also. So hang on, as a museum curator, you have to catalog and document everything.
It
So
looks
I
like
have my
this is all
handy-dandy
cataloged and documented.
Dollar store tripod right here. You
Yeah.
like that tripod? Which nothing in a dollar store costs $1 anymore.
Oh wow,
Isn't that true?
nice.
Wait a second, it's not getting
Here, I'll move around so you can see. There
Oh,
you go.
it
That's
is.
me.
Now
That's
I got
me.
you. Why does it look funny? It's not on video, it's on square. You're not square.
I mean, you know,
I mean, it's hip to
I
be
try
square.
not to be like.
I heard it was hip to be square, but
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, so that's ready. Now I won't film this part, but you're welcome to.
Yeah, we got it.
What are we doing now? Photography, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to give some Hollywood direction. Is everyone ready for your very serious Hollywood direction? I have to teach Das how to Das or Das?
Das, that's fine. Yeah.
I have to teach him how to use scissors. Because I can't tell you how many people see a box and see scissors and do this.
You want to go like that? Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this is not. And I swear to God,
doing?
people really do this. They go like
Really?
this, and I'm like, really? And I love this box. It says, "Do not
Do
crush."
not crush. It doesn't say do not
So
stab,
crush
so
it.
you know.
Right, so you can't stab.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. When you use scissors, you want to hold them like a box cutter, and then don't cut the label because I need that for cataloging.
Yeah.
But you want to cut maybe from the back like that. And,
Yeah.
You know, cut like that.
Right.
The next thing I have to teach people is when you see a box, you don't say, "Oh, look, this came from Bob Smith of 1313
Like
Mockingbird
out loud,
Lane,"
yeah.
because the whole world doesn't need to know Bob Smith's address. And what is 1313 Mockingbird Lane?
It's from.
Are you guys texting
No,
it?
that's
Are
from
you-
what's it? Isn't that where Boo Radley lived? Or something like that?
You
I
guys
don't
are
know.
laughing at him now,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know.
It is the Munsters.
Oh,
1313 Mockingbird Lane is the Munsters.
oh yeah.
Now, the first year I
Wasn't
did...
Boo Radley in
now
Kill a
some-
Mockingbird though?
well,
I think that's the thing, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't...
It
yeah.
wasn't the address.
No, it wasn't. But some of you thought it was, I bet, the Addams Family.
Right.
Which is what I thought for a whole year.
Yeah.
And I was giving people false information.
Yeah,
Fake
it's the
news.
Addams Family.
So I looked it up, and it turns out the Addams Family address was 13 Cemetery Lane.
Ah.
And the Munsters was 1313 Mockingbird Lane. So I started getting nasty emails from the Addams Family. Are you believing this? I hope so. So, yeah, Lurch, you don't want to get nasty
Yeah, you
letters
don't want to get nasty emails
Lurch.
from Lurch.
Yeah, so now I have to correct people. So 1313 Mockingbird Lane is the address of...
Oh, not the Addams Family.
What was the other one?
The Munsters.
Good. Okay, and 1313 Cemetery Lane is the address of...
The Addams Family.
Excellent, good. So now I won't get
Boo
nasty
Radley didn't
emails
live in any of
from-
those.
And he didn't live in any of those. So now I won't get those nasty emails. You know, you don't want to piss off Uncle Fester.
That's
And
correct.
especially not Wednesday. You know what she did to Bugsy.
Yeah.
So the next thing I have to tell people is when I say, "Hi, I'm Denny Daniel and I'm here with," you can just say your first name. You do not have to say your bank account number. And you do not have to say your social security number. But, Das, if you do decide to say your bank account number,
Yeah.
can you tell me first
First.
before them so that I can clean out your bank account before
People are already loading
all
up
of
the
them
bank
do?
website right now.
Yeah. The next thing I have to say to people is, for you Hollywood divas, do you need hair and makeup
No, I'm
or
good.
craft food?
So I got the hat.
Yeah, you don't. Okay, and not the craft food
I
too.
don't need
Yeah,
any
because the
craft
truck
food,
comes
no.
in at 4:00, and you'd have to wait for
I'm
the
not
SAG
waiting,
rules.
yeah.
So
I'm
yeah, you're
okay.
good with your hair and makeup.
I'm
You know
good,
the
I'm
Hollywood
good.
diva thing.
Yeah, I'm
good.
fine.
I'm glad that he's not a Hollywood diva.
I'm low maintenance.
The next thing I have to say is I've added this because of some strange people. Somebody, when I was opening up a box, they were opening up a box. They turned into Popeye the Sailor Man and started cursing like a sailor throughout the entire box
What?
opening. But he was a wonderful guy throughout the entire day. I don't know what happened. So if you need to turn into Popeye the Sailor Man, can you do it after he turns off the
I'll
camera?
actually go like Yosemite Sam, so it's like fracking, smacking, backstabbing. Like.
yeah. So are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, good. So my cat in the other room, Tristan, quiet. You didn't see the cat, but he's there in the other room. And quiet on the set. And I'm gonna get ready with my thing. Oh wait, you're drunk.
Oh, it's, no, I'm good.
Okay,
I'm
you're
good.
sober. It's amazing how quickly I can do that. Hair of the dog. or cat. So hi, it's me, Denny Daniel, and I'm here with
Das, how's it going?
and he does this amazing television
Internet
everything,
thing, yeah, live streams on the internet.
And what is it called?
It's called Kerbal Space Academy.
So Kerbal spell.
No, it's Kerbal Space. Actually, you know, the best thing is a virtual field trip.
Excellent.
So we're on a Vectors virtual field trip right now. That's what we call it. And then one of the parts of that is Kerbal Space Academy. But
excellent. So
you look for Vectors virtual field trip, and that's the best way to
and
find
he does some great stuff, which we did a whole show in this whole place. So
We
you
did.
get to see what we went all the time. I keep doing these videos and saying we did this, and it
Yeah.
took an hour.
We're
But
live
you're
for an
gonna do
hour
it,
and
but-
19 minutes right now.
Holy moly!
Yeah.
So we're done, and we're doing a box opening now.
We have
and,
boxes?
we've got one of these. He is going to open up one of these three things over here, and I do this like a 42nd Street shell game,
Okay.
which I'm born and raised in New York, and I remember the 42nd Street shell game.
Okay.
So a guy would show up with three shells, and he would have a quarter under one, mix them up like this,
Yeah.
and then you had to guess which one
Which
had
one
the
it was.
corner, and then you would win something.
Was it the quarter?
hopefully $20.
Okay.
Or $10, depends upon how much money he made
Yeah.
that day. So the only difference here is I don't have 3 shells.
Okay.
There isn't a quarter
I
under.
can tell them apart too. Like there's
and there isn't a quarter under any of them.
Right.
And you win nothing. So in a way, ethically, it is like a 42nd Street shell game in New York. Technically. But the similarity is this.
Okay.
I will mix them up.
Okay.
So this is me mixing up the packages. So I am.
Oh no! What
clearly- are you confused, Us?
Yes, I have no
Excellent.
clue what's in each package.
Excellent, good. So he's ready to open one. So pick a package to open any one.
I'm gonna go with the one that says "Do not crush" on it.
You
It's
like
the
that
biggest one. It says "Do not crush" right there.
So
Do
there
not
is your
crush.
scalpel.
There are scissors. You told me that I needed to like stab this, like I was trying to murder it or
Clearly.
something.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, wait, how do we know if there's something in here I have to worry about? Look, I'm gonna do
well,
this.
try not to cut yourself. First
Like
of all.
that.
Try not to cut the cameraman.
And we'll get it going like that,
Me
and we'll
or
sort
the
of go
cat?
like that right there, right?
Yeah.
Then once I have a weak spot I've created, I can sort of go for it Christmas. Oh, okay, it was just the post office box inside.
That's what I figured.
I didn't know if somebody just like wrapped directly the.
I know that would be.
I didn't want to like.
strange.
And then
Thank you. For
here's
that.
the original box for this.
You
I
are
don't know.
Smarter than the average bear.
Original box, but it was the post office, so we have more opening to do.
We do.
Let's see here. There we go. Find the weak spot. Not take out anybody's eyes.
Nose. Or
It'll be like
earlobe.
that. Oh, there we go as well. Right.
Excellent.
I've opened a package in my time. Safely
Okay.
close the scissors and put them away.
And then run.
And then run. All right. Is that interesting? Not
Clearly.
really. Is that interesting? Whoa.
I have no clue what's in there.
It's like that looks like a big
Oh my
capacitor.
lord! This.
Yeah, look at this thing.
So this, I
All
didn't
right.
realize the name on the box.
Here, should I
So
pull it
this is
out?
this isn't an acquisition I just bought. This is a repair by my very very dear friend who repairs my Edison, and he collects and loves these machines.
Oh, there you go. You got extra
These
cardboard in there.
things. This is a radio. This is an original crystal radio which my dear friend fixed for me.
Really?
So now it should hopefully work. So what is a crystal radio? These are. It's so funny that you do this program. And if you had been doing this 100 years ago, it would not be a television program.
There would be a crystal radio show.
It would be a radio
Yeah.
show. You'd
Uh-huh.
be a radio broadcaster.
Join in, tune in for the radio
So that's
show.
funny that he may have used the crystal radio. So the coincidence of you
Yeah.
opening this is unbelievable.
That's awesome.
So you would have been doing a radio show. Crystal radio is because you're on the field, aren't you? So how can you be on the field without plugging in your camera? What do you use? You use these crystal radios.
Right.
So these things use the power of radio waves. So radio waves, believe it or not, your
Really?
phone here,
Yep, my
this
phone.
phone here is a glorified radio. So these are using radio waves.
Sure.
Radio waves that are all over you have a certain amount of power.
Right.
Zap.
They do.
But not enough to zap you.
Yep, you can transmit
But-
power with them if you make them big enough, basically.
Right.
But
So
they
this
do have
thing
energy.
would use the radio wave, that little bit of power, as power to power this thing.
Wow.
So you'd have this giant antenna.
Yep, to pick up a lot of-
and it would have a crystal, and there's a crystal in here. And basically what you would do is you'd tune in. Often they would have, like, this is a tuner for this one.
Yep.
And you tune in the station, and you'd have these headphones, those old-fashioned like army headphones some people had,
Right.
like crystal radio headphones.
Yep.
And you would put those on, and you would listen to the radio and find out from the field,
Yeah.
like during the war in the trenches.
Because you don't have batteries, you don't have power requirements plugged into the wall or
So
anything.
now you're using the radio waves as power.
That's awesome.
So this was an amazing device, and this was just, I picked this one up, and he just couldn't help the fact that it didn't work, and he needed to repair it whether I liked it or not, and he had it for months, and he got this one back working.
That's
so
awesome.
if you put this, if
yeah,
you
plugged in
set
the
it up,
antenna and stuff.
yeah, then this would actually work, but it's just great that you opened it.
It looks
You
like
know?
a capacitor that
So,
came out of it. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's
I think
actually
this
what
is
that
the
is.
one he had to, I believe, replace this
Replace or
part.
something,
But
yeah.
I always like having the original parts to show the kids.
Let me read what
So,
it says on it
um,
if I could. I was just like looking at it. Yeah, keep going. 80, I think it says 80 microfarads, 150 WV, red, green, black is negative, operates at 75 degrees Celsius, so it gets hot. Made in USA.
Yeah, that's
It's got a
very
part
hot.
number if you need it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah, this
love
is a
reading
piece-
the little labels and stuff.
Oh, me
like that
too.
on
I'm
it,
one
you
of
know?
those. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is one of my, history of music and sound and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
A show, and this is a very special box opening because this is a repair that meant a lot to me.
That's
this
really
is one of
cool.
my favorites. So that's a cool one.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So when you see this in the real museum, now you'll say,
Well,
"I was."
I opened the box,
Yeah,
chat.
you
Like,
open the box.
wouldn't have that unless I opened the box, unless he opened the box, I guess.
So we're gonna say bye to the world. world. Well,
Yeah.
you guys were, but
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
say buy the world on my camera.
Yeah.
So, oh wait,
Take it
I
easy,
didn't
world.
show.
Oh yeah,
this
just show the
world.
camera. There you go.
So the crystal radio. So there's the crystal radio, and there's the and there's
Tuners
the cat's
and the-
tail that
yeah,
people
yeah.
call, and this is the original thingy.
Yeah.
So
No kidding.
very.
I mean,
cool.
I don't know if that's a capacitor or not. It looks like one, but I don't know what it actually
The
is. It's a
internet
paper
people tell
tube.
us. Everyone
Yeah,
texts what that is.
internet people can tell us what that actually is. What is that? Starch Face, do you know what that is? There's a ground wire in there. Yeah, people talking about it, but yeah. And I'm not crushing it. No, I was not crushing it. It wasn't a thing. Makeup can't help DOS. That was rude. What do you mean makeup rest can't help DOS? Oh, there's
And
all
that
the
was
monsters.
somewhere
Yeah,
inside
people were
there.
answering your question. Hey, chat. We're going to have to let Denny go here, and we're going to go. But I want to pull our trick, right? I want to pull our favorite trick. There's almost 200 people watching us live inside your museum right now, right?
Cool.
Where are you
Amazing.
watching
No, I think-
from? So do the trick. Share with Denny where you're experiencing his
Oh,
collection
yeah,
of
that'd be
interesting
great.
things from. There's like a 5 to 10 second delay, and y'all just really quickly. I'll read out some locations that you have all this stuff here in New York City, but we can share it all over the world with our live broadcast. So
And we
here
could
we go.
travel to where you are in the world. So
Look
at
at this. We got Naples, Florida, Malaysia, Colorado, Portland, Oregon, the Netherlands, Fort Mill, South Carolina, Canada, Germany, Shreveport, Louisiana. Somebody's in the bathroom right now. France, Virginia, Midlands, UK, Asheville, North Carolina, Netherlands, UK.
In my
again.
bathroom?
No, I hope not. There's more German in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, Charlotte, North Carolina, Netherlands, Chester, Los Angeles, Gearing, Nebraska, Austin, Texas, Montreal, Canada.
Austin Weird.
It's all over the place. Brazil. We got
Brazil.
Thomas
My
72
sister's
from-
born in Brazil, so hi
No
to the Brazil.
kidding.
My daddy, Novo Hamburgo, all those factories, those shoes factories. My daddy owned or had stakes in almost all. He did.
No kidding.
Yeah, he had a big shoe company. So Brazil is near and dear to us.
No kidding.
And as you know, I left the hospital with my dad in
Yeah.
it, so it's really fun.
That's
that
right.
that's-
That's
yeah.
right. So it's got Sweden
very
in there,
cool.
Plymouth,
Sweden,
UK,
wow.
Scotland, Norway. So with our interesting thing, which I guess is our technology that we do our virtual field trips with, so we can share this all over the world.
Your magic lantern.
Our magic lantern, exactly.
Well, that'd be a protector, but
Yeah, but it's really awesome that you were able to let us come in here to your location and see all the cool stuff. I want to come back sometimes.
Yes.
Like, I would
definitely.
love to come back because
And see
every
the
single
other
time.
99%.
99.999% of the stuff we didn't see today. Danny, thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Again, y'all, it's the
You're beyond
museum.
welcome.
It's the Museum of Interesting Things. It's here in New York City. The speakeasies are awesome. Check the website out. Follow them on Instagram, Twitter, that sort of stuff. Sign up for the mailing list if you're interested in learning more. So,
And the camera that he's using is the lower version of a camera I'm going to.
we've got another interesting thing right quick.
I'm going to end with the camera obscura.
There you go. Wow.
So those of you who know what it is, the box camera. So what he's using is this is the grandfather of that camera.
Right.
So we'll end with the camera obscura. How cool is that? It basically was a pinhole camera.
It's a pinhole cam. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a box with a.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's a French version from probably around 100 years ago.
God, that's awesome.
So you guys are all watching with his pinhole camera.
Yeah, his
camera
pinhole camera,
obscura.
yeah. Denny, thank you so much for the time. Y'all, one
You are
last
welcome.
time, put some hearts in chat for Denny there. Show Denny the appreciation. I have
You
a
are
feeling
welcome.
we will definitely be back here with you again in the future.
Yes, definitely.
And we can
yeah.
see some more interesting things.
And your camera guy's from Brooklyn, so I have a feeling we're going to have
Speakeasy-
someone working on
speakeasy guest at
16
some
millimeter
point.
projectors. He'll probably be rewinding all my films.
That's rewinding the films. God. Denny, thanks again.
You are welcome, buddy.
Yeah,
You
we
are the best.
appreciate you. And chat, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the
Bye,
support.
everyone.
Thanks for supporting the virtual field
You guys
trips.
rock.
Yeah,
You
and
guys
we will,
are the bomb.
the bomb. We will see y'all later. Again, we will be back at the Intrepid Museum. I'm not going to leave the stream live. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for now. We're here because of y'all's support, your donations to Vectors and stuff like that. So thank you very much. And send Denny an email. See if you can't send him a couple pennies to run that organ some more.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we will.
and a monkey.
And the
Be
monkey.
a
Send a
The
monkey
ran
too.
off with the pennies.
I could be the monkey, I guess. But we got to shut it down for now. From the Museum of Interesting Things in New York City. Thanks for watching. Later, nerds. There's like an awkward timing here where I have to go and wait and go over.